Well, it's turned into a lovely day. It was really overcast and drizzly this morning, but yeah, it's opened up nicely. So I thought, why not go out for another quick squirt and just crap on. One of the things that was on my mind when I bought this scooter was the roads around here are pretty rough, and I figured if I did a lot of extra kilometres on my wide wheel on the slightly out of town roads, that I'd just basically bugger it up. It's not a real intelligent economic argument, because basically I could buy 2 more of them. so even if I did bugger them up, it doesn't matter. But anyway, I just also felt like it'd be nice to have something that was a bit faster, not a lot faster, just a bit faster, because you know, sometimes if I'm just out to go somewhere around here, I'm after a little bit more. One of the nice things living here, you know, everyone waves at you. It's a nice community. Anyway, yeah, so I'm going to head up on the other side of that ridge over there where I don't know if you can see it, but telephone tower is just coming visible now. Yeah, straight over there. So I'll go and do that. But getting back to the MX60, I'm out of town a bit. It's been a really, good solid little unit. I've had a couple of little tiny problems with it. Nothing major. If anything, I'd say I might want to redo the way the hinge is on the stem. It's got a couple of small issues which I've discussed in a blog post and a video, but just if you look on YouTube, just I love the way that my channel on MX60 just leisurely lops along. Find pretty much everything. So we're doing 28, coming down that little bit, and up this pretty steep hill, which would be quite an athlete climb. We're dropping down to 23 here, 22. 21. It's kind of crawling up at 21 without really any change, and I haven't charged it since the short ride before. So like I said on another video, you can pretty much they're doing line marking again. You can pretty much guarantee yourself 50 good kilometers range on this, even if you do go a bit excited on the accelerator. Myself, I personally prefer to go for the slightly slower speed and get the greater distance, because time is not of the essence to me. But God, isn't that really just fucking lovely scenery? Oh, is that a car behind me? Yeah. So I'm gonna stop and give it a bit of a look over and sort of explain what it is that I love the way they paint over the rocks and everything. Sort of explain what it is that I think needs changing on this system. But down here, don't you love being old? Down here, that's the hinge pivot. Now this guy, one of the things that it's a really solid mechanism, right? Like, good solid chunk of steel there and stuff. Good hinge. But it just seems to suffer from vibrations a fair bit. So I think that's the right one, or is it the one? No, I think that's the one actually. So yes, there we go. No, I was right. It's no. Oh yes, there it is. Okay, so now this is a bit irritating because I Loctited that the other day. Now I've had to change these because you might find my post where one sheared. Now, you know, again, I'm going to say that people get confused between the way bolts operate and, you know, strengths and stuff. But basically, tensile strength is when something's pulling on the bolt, like, you know, on a car head that's bolted down and the explosions are trying to ram the head up in the air. That's tensile strength. But this is shear because the bouncing up and down of this is going to try and snap that bolt, right? So, you know, that's what happened to the last one. Now you think, oh, you know, just put red Permatex on it. But that's got a disadvantage in that red Permatex, it's friggin' hard to get out. Now, because the last one sheared and had red Permatex in there, I was very lucky when I drilled it and pulled it that it just came out nicely. It took a bit of effort. I was very worried that my thing was going to shear, but it didn't, or snap, the easy out. So anyway, we've got that side going and we've got this side worked out. So let's get up off the ground and put my tools back in my pocket. So Grayson Siding Road's visible just dead ahead. So we're going to go down to the corner and then we're going to turn, we're going to go up that road and along the edge of the ridge. Now it goes to dirt about halfway. I'll probably have to give my my bolt a little bit of a tighten again. I have to see if there's some other way of doing this, because, you know, I don't want to be doing this all the time. You know, generally speaking, I haven't had really any kind of significant issues with this scoot. You like the mud all over it still? So let's get going. So yeah, now if I just allow myself to coast down here and you know, don't have any power at all, I'm going to hit about 29 or 30 kilometers an hour. But because it's a downhill run, I'm just going to give it a bit of a hit, get it up to 40, and that's nice. And suddenly it feels quicker. Got to be careful about gravel. .42. This is a nice long climb. Pretty soon, about halfway up, I'm gonna allow it to drop back down so that I don't, you know, having the batteries down, because I can see it's already, here we are on top of the ridge, having a lot of voltage sag right now. It's a really lovely spot. Still in gear 2, doing 25, and this is where I wouldn't really enjoy taking my wide wheel, just because the width of the wheels guarantees that I hit every friggin' rock, and the lack of compliance compared to these big fat rubber tyres means that I'm not shaking the shitter out of everything. That's nice. Bit of local art. Right. Based on my previous experience, I wouldn't want to be coming up here in the wet. And if you're wondering, there's basically a channel cut in the middle of the tyre tracks by the water running down there. So I'm kind of like dancing in and out of that. So this is pretty much where I wanted to come to. You can see the town over there to the south. And a bunch of sheep. Town's a little bit behind the rise there. Not going to go all the way up there because you know, it's not really an additional view, but it should be interesting coming back down this into the sunset. Well, the way down should be pretty much just coasting, because it's fairly steep. Don't know if that was obvious. More obvious on when I use the telephoto lens than the wide. 26. It's a nice comfy speed. Look at that. My screw's starting to come out again already. Even though there's no movement, somehow, because it's all bolted down tight, even though there's no real movement, there's still enough movement to somehow get that freaking thing to unwind. Oh, what's going on? It's a pain in the ass. Okay, it's going to be nice on the way down. So, since it's a fairly good road, I'm going to pull out my little doodad. Okay, well, tighten up my thingo. Loose. So, and get going again. Have to do something about that. I don't know what's going on. Whether the screws are, because they're zinc, Loctite's not sticking to them. I don't know. Anyway, this is a nice little hill. I'm going to stick it into gear 3, give it a bit of a hoot. Looks like the line marking guys are gone. Well, that was kind of fun. Let's give it a bit of a squirt. It's amazing how much of a surge it still has here at this speed. Well, there we are, back home. Oh, nice little ride. Much as it's fun on the MX60, there's something about the quietness, lack of tyre noise, and the enforcedly more relaxed pace that I kind of like about the Bug Wheel. No two ways about it, this driveway's easier on this.